On Lenin Street, the Russian trench mortar positions ran through the upper floor of building number 36. The Germans held a basement on the opposite side of the road, and between these two buildings, every square foot of space was under constant fire. No one could survive in this no man's land, and except for fighting men, almost everyone else had fled the city. But on this particular street, one person remained, a civilian. At dusk, a wraith-like creature would lift the lid of a manhole right in the middle of the street, almost exactly between the two firing lines. Her elderly hand would toss out bits and pieces of rubbish, then lower the lid and return to her underground home. She was living in a cast-iron drain pipe in the city's underground. Russian soldiers remembered that she wore an old-fashioned winter coat with a frayed fox collar. The soldiers had become increasingly fond of her because she would creep out across the street in the blackness of moonless evenings when relative quiet reigned, and climbed the half-ruined charred staircase, bringing the smoke-begrimed gunners freshly washed footcloths, or a newly darned shirt, trousers, or warm porridge. In her underground home she had a small kerosene stove which hummed away quietly amid the thunder of battle. Soap was a luxury, but Maria Gavrilovna would produce a small bar when the men needed it. When the battery commander complained of a toothache one day, she gave him a hot potion of some kind to ease his pain. Gradually, the soldiers began to address her as mother. One morning, Maria told the sons that today she would give them a feast. Hot cabbage soup. The cabbage soup in combination with tinned beef promised to be a special treat for the men. At dusk, when the firing slackened, the well-known figure lifted the manhole cover, climbed out and waddled across the street, carrying a piping pot of cabbage soup. All of a sudden, the men heard the deadly crackle of enemy rifle fire, but they saw that Maria continued to walk calmly, not hurrying, so as not to spill the soup. The Russians returned the fire in order to defend their much treasured visitor, but when she climbed the stairs, without spilling a drop of soup, the men noticed blood forming beneath her kerchief. Putting down the pot of soup, she sank to the floor without saying a word, and never regained consciousness. The soldiers buried her that night in the enclosed courtyard of house number 36. On her grave they wrote, "Here lies Maria Gavrilovna Timofeyeva, mother of the 12th Trench Mortar Battalion."